Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. It is ridiculous. She's saying in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. Mm. So some of my favorite people are here already. All of you know me as Moon, Death Midwife, co-host of Queer Death Sessions with Desmond and Anastasia, who cannot be here today. Lisa is a regular participant, of course, and a lot of you are as well. So I'm just so completely, I've never been in this situation where I've been able to sit down with one of my favorite authors because most of them are dead, which is was realizing in the shower, like, oh yeah, most of them are dead. So thank you for being here and bearing with me. Are you able to sign in, Lisa?
Don't worry about me, Brett.
Okay. So I don't know if you need more of an introduction. Mrs. Death is an amazing book that came out during pandemic. And
Yeah, it was published in January on the wolf moon, on the full moon, the wolf moon, which I thought was kind of fitting.
wow, that is so cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that was it. It wasn't planned. It was an accident, but it was that. Yeah, the 28th of January was the wolf full moon. It was so perfect. I was like really happy about that.
That's amazing. One of the things when I saw that the book was coming out, I was like, wow, this is coming out during the pandemic when I had just become a death midwife officially. And I was like, this is coming out like at the perfect time because everyone is thinking about death. But how is that for you? I mean, I wasn't friends with you yet, or friendly with you yet. So I was thinking like, wow, how is this, what is that like for you?
It's been very strange. I mean, obviously, well, not obviously, but I started working on the book a long time ago. But I didn't, obviously, I couldn't write it for a pandemic I didn't see coming, but I wrote it for a pandemic that I felt was already here, and for the silence around so many deaths and the silence around death. And so I wanted to get people talking and raise awareness. And so that was really a part of it. The work began because I was in a place of mourning. There seemed to be a run of funerals. And so I guess I started writing it for myself to humanize death and to imagine death as a woman, and what would she say to me, and what would she say to us, and what would she say to all of us. Um, so yeah, I think that's kind of how the work started. My way of kind of having conversations, because there was just we lost family members and friends, and there was just seemed to be a lot of funerals, and then also global really scary things were happening with all over the world. I won't go and then also in celebrities, we lost David Bowie, we lost Prince, and these people were really huge in my head. And so that's kind of how the work started forming, this kind of conversation of who gets a hashtag, who doesn't, in the conversation around that. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. When I saw the book, I was like, oh, I have to have that right away because of the cover, the rabbit, the wolf, the symbolism. It was very Clarissa Pinkola Estates to me, like this book will be with me for the rest of my life. And then the local bookstore, they're like, we can't get it because it's during a pandemic and you're in the UK. And so I downloaded it on Audible, which I, had never done before. And then listening to you read or speak on these epic beach hikes we would go on, and I would just turn to Lisa and be like, you have to listen to this when I'm finished. It's amazing. And then when we got our book, finally, then we both were able to read it. But it just felt like, in a weird and special way, like it was written for us death groupies. Like it was such a gift. So thank you so much. I definitely have questions for you, but so we can get into the reading if you want first.
Is there any particular bit you want me to read? I'm happy to take requests. If there's any bit you want me to read, or I could just pick a bit.
What are your favorite parts? Do you have
Oh,
a favorite part?
I have. There are lots of favorite parts of mine. I really enjoyed writing the piano. I could imagine the piano being played by like Billy Porter, just being just so fabulous, and just really, I really enjoyed the piano. I'll tell you what. I'll just start with a. Um, hang on. Let me see. What about if I start right at the beginning, and then we can maybe read a different bit?
Please.
So why don't we start with the first time we hear Mrs. Death, and so Mrs. Death's diaries, the first morning of the first morning. By the way, I love the way you always start your post "Good morning." That's really cool. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're
the
in my
first,
thoughts.
the first morning of the first morning, present day. When I called for change, did you pass by me? Did you see me today? I sit on a bench outside London's King's Cross station. I like train stations and airports best. I like to sit in places where people come and go. I sit and watch you come and go. You say goodbye and hello, come and go, goodbye and hello. It's as though you are not connected to each other. Goodbye, you say, clinging on to that last glance. You give a funny little wave. You don't know that you don't have to touch, to see, to feel each other. Human beings were designed to be in contact without being in contact, to communicate without words, to call each other to each other's minds. Humans still have so much to learn about connection, but when you are in transition and whilst traveling, you are tuned into this. You are alive and alert. When you travel, you wake up. You wake up. You're awake and aware of changes, differences and sameness, strangers and each other. In transit, you are occupied by time and space, by clocks and miles, by separation and reunion, your chance and your fate. Humans were built to travel. Humans were made to move, to share, and to migrate, just like butterflies and birds. The history and the geography of human migration is nothing less than phenomenal. The greatest trick man played was making you believe I was a man. They erased me and made you all believe that death was male in spirit, the grim reaper in a black hood with a scythe. Remarkable that nobody questioned it really, don't you think? For surely only she who bears it, she who gave you life, can be she who has the power to take it. The one is she, and only she who is invisible can do the work of death. And there is no human more invisible, more readily talked over, ignored, betrayed, and easy to walk past than a woman, than a poor old black woman, a homeless black beggar woman with knotty natty hair, broken back, walking ever so slow, 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 pushing a shopping trolley full of plastic bottles. Death is plastic. Plastic is death. I'll leave it there.
Definitely a favorite. All the exclamations.
Thank you.
I love that so much because I was saying this the other day. Someone was kind enough to interview me to promote this and your book. And that part about it being a woman is that midwifery from that birth to death cycle has been ours and it was taken from us. And so we're sort of reclaiming, you know, in death too. Yeah, Kat said thank you. Yes, thank you so much. So beautiful. So I guess in my notes, I wanted to ask,
Oh,
were
no.
you writing this in the lighthouse?
We just lost Salena.
Oh, she'll come back.
Yeah.
She probably might have had a internet disconnection. So
Hi, everyone.
It also says you're recording this. Were you planning on recording it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Oh, sorry. I thought I said that in the email.
you did.
Okay.
It's all good.
Okay. Yeah, because quite a few people couldn't make it today. One of our favorite couples, C and Michael,
Oh, yeah.
C actually had an emergency, so keep them in your thoughts. I'll message her and see what's going on. She's magical. She's like, poof, I read, I'm out.
Sorry, dogs.
That's fine. How's everyone doing?
Doing pretty good. Oh, sorry, there's some pots in the background. So I'm good.
Other than that, crashing of pots and Zoom crashing and
Dogs barking.
dogs barking. Teddy is actually being pretty cooperative, so
And Mercury and Saturn in retrograde.
right.
So we got lots of retrograde happening right now.
We do. Here she comes. Hi, welcome back. We lost you.
I know my computer went boom. Okay, I'm back. Oh my goodness.
It reminds me.
I've been so excited to meet you, and so now like it's probably like my nerves going whoo, whoo, whoo.
Mine
Okay.
too. Lisa has been following me around this morning going, keep breathing, keep breathing, drink. I'm like, wrong message, but it does help.
Yeah, I've been so looking forward to meeting you all. I've just been like, whoo, so nervous energy. Hello everyone, and start again.
It kind of reminds me of Bewitched, the mother and Dora like poof in and out of the room. Anyway. So one of the funniest things was when we planned to get together originally, we had to cancel because we had a family emergency. And so I was bummed and I was thinking like, oh, when am I going to reschedule? And Lisa very wisely said, why don't you just invite Salena to join? I'm like, yeah, because that's not something that I'm going to do. Just invite her. But that's, sweet. And then you messaged me and I was like, did you did you make that happen? I'm like, of course, like we want you to be here. It's incredible. And thanks to Zoom and all the little altar, worship that I've done since I like tiny popcorn and tiny spice girl for good luck today. I'm sure it's scary spice. Oh yeah.
I have a question. Can you talk to us a little bit about your writing process? Like, are you a morning writer, a night writer? Do you like to write in public, privately, or?
Oh, I've become I get up at 4 in the morning and I write watching the daybreak. This is when best ideas, kind of in that milky time when I'm still half in dream. And so quite a lot of my work is inspired by dreams. For example, the character Tilly Tuppence was a character I kept dreaming about. So she felt very real to me. So much so I Googled Tilly Tuppence and I really did invent her and dream her up. And the Red Tower, the in Spain, and the guilt and the shame I felt in that scene where I was the baddie, and that was a horrendous dream that I kept having. So yeah, this book was the book I was working on for myself. And I didn't have an agent, I didn't have a publisher. This was something I wanted to write that I didn't think anyone would really get and would really know why I wanted to write such a deathy book. But So I would work on it in this time, say 4 in the morning till 8, 9 in the morning, because nobody needs you then. No one's going to email you. No one's going to interrupt your flow. And I think there's quite a lot of hope and love and idealism in the book. And I think that's because at that time of the day, you build cathedrals. You feel so powerful. It's a new day. It's a new chance. It's a new, like the Nina Simone song. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new life. And I feel good, and it feels like that writing at that time of day. And then you kind of, the rest of the day, I'm a much nicer, friendlier Salena if I've done 4 or 5 hours of my own thing before I have to deal with everyone else's things. All the things, yeah. The stuff that pays the rent. Yeah. So, and family stuff and favors for friends, and yeah, it's the list is long, isn't it? So yeah, that's kind of as it developed. I became a dawn writer when I was working on the memoir Springfield Road. So I think this habit, I don't even have an alarm clock. I just kind of, I naturally kind of wake up just when the first blackbird's singing, and just when the sky's a really gorgeous sort of lapis indigo blue, and before it's kind of light yet. And I just love that. Also, my favorite type of food is breakfast food. So
Yes.
by doing this, I can actually have 2 breakfasts because that's allowed. So I get to have or 3 breakfasts: a poet's breakfast, cigarettes and coffee, and then maybe a French breakfast, and then maybe yeah, I love breakfast food. So this is good. I drink a lot of tea. Yeah. So that's kind of that's become my process kind of over the last, I'm going to say maybe 15 years now. I used to be a much wilder party girl, and so I'd be coming home at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. So that wouldn't really work. I mean, I'd try, but it would just be this sort of gibberish, like, but when I'm touring and gigging, then it doesn't work either, because I find I feel like I have 2 lives or 2 wives. Like I have like the blonde that does all the touring and the performing, and then the brunette that actually does all the work and sits at the laptop, and so. But this whole lockdown, I've kind of had to be the brunette for like a year, which is the longest time I've been in writer mode or introvert mode. I can literally hear the monster in the box going, "Let me out! I'm on a gig!" Like I can actually, it's been a long time since I did a big show off on stage, and did what I do. And to release a book without being able to use that superpower of liking people and stage and lights and performing and connecting, and to do it in this very kind of, just meeting people online, and it's been very strange for me. It's been like releasing a book without using my superpower. Yeah. Yeah, long answer, sorry.
Long answer, good.
Thank you.
Do you write to music?
I do, actually. I do. I write to music a lot. I like to write to piano music and classical music. I listen to a lot for this book. Yeah, all kinds of music. A lot of it would depend which character I was writing. With Wolf, it's much more sort of depressive kind of, and boozy music, whereas with Mrs. Death, it was more kind of triumphant, strong black woman, kind of like amazing anthems and stuff. But throughout it, a lot of, I really love piano. I really love the sound of the piano. I like to pretend when I'm typing, when you're going really good guns, I like to pretend that I'm typing like I'm playing piano, like.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
What has it been like in terms of encountering sort of, death groupies like us who have, sort of grabbed onto your work, and like, have you noticed differences in terms of the reception of the book, in terms of people who are, sort of death workers, death midwives, and then just other people who are just interested in death? Like, has it been a note? I mean, I realize that it's different for you because we're in a pandemic, so it's harder to gauge that, but I'm just wondering about your reaction to this book being sort of embraced by all of us death groupies.
Oh well, I'm honoured and excited that it makes sense to you, and I didn't foresee that. I didn't even think of that. I have some really dear friends who run the Green Funeral Company, and I talked to them a little bit about it during the writing process. I think there's so many, the reaction and the way people have responded. I didn't really imagine how I couldn't imagine, because you don't know, because it's such a personal subject and a big universal subject. I think the most beautiful thing has been people that have written their names in the back and have sent me emails and photographs of how that's helped them, and they've written and said thank you and kind of wanted me to come into that process, and they've shown me photographs of their back page, and some of them have glued and sellotaped photographs and poems, and as alongside the names of people they want to remember, and that's been incredibly touching. um
Oh,
yeah, I didn't, I kind of, there was a huge part of me that wasn't even going to let anyone read this, to be honest. Like, so it's all been a bit of a shock and a surprise. It took me ages to find the courage to let even, to give it in to my agent. Yeah, it's like, well, does this make sense to you? So
It totally does. It totally does.
yeah, yeah,
For me, the opening was just, to me, that just blew my mind. I just, because I listened to the audiobook as well, listened to you, which was just magical because I love audiobooks. But that opening, the first statement about what this is a book about and what it's not a book about,
yes.
just genius.
thank you. Oh
Thank,
my goodness.
yeah.
Thank you. That was the disclaimer at the beginning was what was the first time when I was written when I'd finished the book, and when I'd finished, this, and I was like, hang on a minute. I need to put something. I visualized people sending me snotty letters because I hadn't mentioned Johnny Cash or Elvis or whatever, getting told off because I've missed out certain celebrities or certain deaths or whatever, Diana or whatever. So I was like, I'm going to put a disclaimer that this book will not contain all the deaths. I don't want some Princess Diana fan going, how could you not put more? Like, you know how people are about the royal family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so that was kind of me sort of playing chicken with myself when I wrote that. Yeah,
Do
yeah.
people respond that way to you ever? Like why would you write about that? Or, when we introduce what we do, a lot of times people are like, ew, or like, really, I don't want to talk about this at dinner. Do you
Yeah,
also experience?
I think so. I think when I was writing it, I think I would sort of bring it up, at a party, and it would be like, your book scares me. Oh, not
Yes.
this again. You're not talking about that again. It's like, yeah, it would be a little bit like that. Like, I get it, but it's really scary. I don't know why you're doing that, or talking about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I would be met with that. But it's, I think the message is how death teaches us to live, or at least to live better. It occurred to me that possibly people that have known loss or work with loss or understand mourning will get this book more than someone that perhaps hasn't lost someone. That's occurred to me. But I think I'm hoping this is a book that lasts, so it will make sense to people when it makes sense to them. I'm very I haven't published a novel before, but it seems it's a very different game to doing poetry. With poetry, you understand that people will find a poem when it makes sense to them, that poems are to be found, like little pieces of gold, little treasure. And I kind of hoped that this book would be like that. But there's a different pressure on novels, isn't there, for them to be like the week they come out, and to trend and to the lists and things like that. But I don't think this is that kind of book. I think it's a book you'll find it when you need it, and I'm hoping it will be a comfort and a source and a hand on the shoulder, or something. Yeah.
definitely. It definitely feels like a friend. You're suddenly best friends with Wolf, and or like, at least that's how I've experienced it. I was like, I love this Wolf person, and now, I want to know more. You know, Do you think, I saw your post this morning, because you're having a bank holiday. Do you think there will be an opportunity for a graphic novel?
Oh, I was just thinking about that this morning.
Yeah.
That's yes. I've been reading some graphic novels. I think they're amazing. I think the world of Mrs. Death is very visual. I think it'd be amazing to work in that in that um in that form. That would be amazing. I can't draw though. Don't make me do the drawing. That would be bad, really bad.
Desmond, just no pressure.
I have a
Yeah.
question on that topic. So, as a psychopomp, I heavily identify with the archetype of death as an agent or an envoy of the soul as it journeys. And so I'm always fascinated with people who write the persona of death. And so going back to graphic novels, one of my favorite personas of death is Neil Gaiman's from Sandman Death.
That's right.
My second favorite is Terry Pratchett's Death. And so those are two of my very favorite British deaths. So I want to ask you, like, how did you develop your particular iteration of death? How did you?
Okay, so I didn't know about I hadn't read Sandman, but that death is a gothic girl, isn't she, with like jet black hair, and Terry Pratchett's one is with the
Yeah,
um
he's very skeletal. He speaks in
yeah.
capital letters when he's written. He speaks in capital letters, like so that you know that he's not human. And so
Right.
he's very skeletal. He's very classically Grim Reaper shaped. And yeah, Sandman Death is usually depicted as a little goth girl with like an ankh, and she's usually fairly playful, which I really love about her.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Is she actually death, or is she an agent for death?
no, she's actually
She's
death.
actually dead. So, because someone wrote to me this week and said that they're doing a TV show of Sandman,
They
and
are.
it's
I'm so
and
excited.
they've cast her as a black girl. A black girl's playing it, which I
Cool.
think is brilliant. Really cool, really cool. But okay, so how did I make Mrs. Death? Was I feel like I didn't. I feel like it was more a moments. I was walking down Brick Lane, exactly very similar to how I describe it in the book. I was walking down Brick Lane, and I was very low, very depressed. As in December, I kind of have a difficult time at Christmas. There's quite a few anniversaries around then. Um, it's a bit of a tough one. I don't really get the jingle bells, jingle bells. I find it a bit jarring, really. And so I'm walking down Brick Lane, and then and I'm very in my thoughts and low and dark, and I kind of hear a voice, much like Wolf does in the book, that I know a lot of dead people now. Very deep, calm woman's voice, which the more I tell this story, the more I realize I think it kind of reminds me perhaps of like my great great Jamaican grandmother, like my grandmother's grandmother, like how I imagine she may speak, but it's kind of very, I know a lot of dead people now. And then from there, that whole chapter came together, and I just walked all through Brick Lane, down through Whitechapel, just recording into my phone and typing into my notes in my phone and stopping in doorways, and that came out in one chunk. And then from there, that was who she was, and it was kind of this old voice, and it wasn't me. It wasn't my usual narrator voice. It wasn't the voice I know. I know my writer head voice. It wasn't that one. It was a very different, lower voice. And then from there, I started to sort of try and understand like how she would feel, and how she would hide, in the invisible and ignored members of society, and how what she would be angry about, who she would be angry with, what fury, um, and what she would eat, with the eggs, like kind of, and every time life lays an egg, she eats an egg, like this whole sort of playing with the idea of it. Quite a lot of the writing was done like that. Following on from that was done with me walking and talking into my phone and then coming home and typing it up for quite a lot. That seemed to be how I could conjure her. So it's quite strange, really, like my neighbours seeing me walking around my local park going, "I am death." It must have been pretty creepy. But yeah, but that's apparently there's a name for that. It's called composing on the lips. This kind of idea of walking and writing the character, and in this it was very audible audio experience creating Mrs. Death. Yeah.
With that being said, could you read that part?
Which part do you mean?
Where you say like the words just came to you.
Oh yeah, where Wolf. I know a lot of dead people now. Do you mean when Wolf meets Mrs. Death, or do you mean I know a lot of dead people now?
When you felt like your great grandmother was.
Oh, okay. Let's have a look.
And then I have a question after that.
Okay.
Or maybe you'll answer it while you're reading it. Who knows?
I did mark it. Okay, yeah. So it was just like this in real life, but I put it into Wolf's experience. Wait, what was that? I feel as though someone is there. In fact, I feel sure I'm not alone. Suddenly it occurs to me this isn't my hangover walking with me, but someone. I am not alone at all. Somebody is with me. I stop walking and listen again. I turn my head and hear something. It is like a buzzing, a vibration echoing back to me and itself. I put my hands out, some cold air. Then a something. Someone else is there. Something. Someone touches me. Cold air on my cheek. Their fingers. A small hand brushes my hand. Slight, light, the weight of a spider's web. There and not there. I stand dead still and try to look normal and nod my head as though I'm having a normal thought, so nobody will see me holding hands with air or someone or something that is or isn't there. London is carrying on being London. That part is normal. Nothing to see here. The traffic is being the traffic and the noise is the noise. But here I am by Bow Road tube station and I'm frozen to the spot, holding hands with the wind and with nothing that feels like it is here, and it is everything. There is nothing to see, nobody there, but there is, here she is. I know a lot of dead people now. I hear her voice for the first time. I know a lot of dead people now. I hear her voice, distinctive, a woman's voice. I have stopped laughing. I hear her. It is a woman speaking, so sure and clear. My heart speeds up. Dum-dum, 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 thumping, banging in my chest. My ears are hot. I listen carefully, hoping to catch every word she says. Her voice is playing as though it is in invisible headphones. The tone, the song, the words. It is not me. It is all her. And then she starts again, like a melody, like a poem, from the beginning, over again. She says, I know a lot of dead people now, and I know death is inevitable and necessary. Without death, you wouldn't live. Without knowing you die, this would be endless. That is why you need death. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Wow. So what can you talk to us about those moments in writing where you feel like the words are just kind of like coming so fast, or like where you have to compose on the lips, like where they just sort of are just, being given to you.
Yeah. Can I tell you what that feels like, do you mean?
Yeah, or like, yeah, yes.
Well, it kind of feels like you're going a little crazy, really, because you literally don't want to do anything else except sit there, and you don't eat, and you don't pee, and you don't move from the spot, and you're just like in this thing, and it's almost like if you move or even open the curtain or do anything different, the butterfly will escape. You're literally trying to capture a butterfly, and that's a very difficult thing to do. Um, to capture a butterfly, not to capture a captured butterfly, but a butterfly that's free, and that's a really difficult thing because you have to capture it in order to capture it. Hmm. Does that make sense though?
It
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
I think so. What do you think,
Yeah,
Des?
Oh yeah, yes, that's the best I could probably ever describe it. I think that's how it feels for me too sometimes, writing certain things. Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, it feels invasive, but also welcomed. And if you're not in the right space to like welcome the butterfly or to capture it, it feels awkward. And then you're just trying to find the butterfly again.
Yeah, and it feels really bad when you see the butterfly flying away, and you just got the last trail of it, the last trails of it. Yeah. Have you ever had dreams where you see yourself writing, and then then when you wake up, you try and write down what you were writing? Like I've had quite a few dreams like that where and then I wake up and it's like, wow, what was it? And you're actually writing. Yeah, that's quite complicated to capture that. Um, yeah, and to capture those dreams and get it down. Um, but I think a lot of the characters and a lot of the deaths in Mrs. Death, I don't know, they sort of feel like I said, they feel so very real to me. Like Tilly Tuppence feels very real to me. I'm starting to wonder if they're past life experiences or something that I've known in another lifetime, or they just feel very real. Um, the the at the end of the book, I don't know if you notice, there's a family tree, and like some of that family tree is based on my DNA, my family tree. To make it authentic, I lent some of that to Wolf, um, and so that sort of felt so some that's to sort of, I guess I'm trying to say, to sort of show where some of those stories came from my family tree, from the where although I kind of lent it to Wolf to make it, yeah, authentic.
And
Hmm.
speaking of Wolf, one of the things I really loved about that character was that it was somewhat gender neutral. You know, was that on purpose to sort of just be a person?
It was really important to me. I tried to write Wolf. It was always Wolf. I mean, the name was always Wolf. Um, it was going to be a letter J, and then Wolf, the surname, and like J Wolf, and then J also being neutral, could be male or female.
Right.
Um, I tried, and then it was just Wolf. Why would need the J? And then I tried to write Wolf as a she, and that was feeling too autobiographical.
Mm.
And then I tried to write Wolf as a he, and that was too boy-y. It was just too boy-y. It was like you're just a spoiled, annoying boy, like as a boy, like, and then as a girl, too whingy. But
Mhm.
as someone that's in transition and in undefined, and I think with Wolf is finding their way, and Wolf is almost half dead, half alive. To be able to be friends with death, Wolf would have to be pretty close to death, right? So Wolf's destructive and suicidal and unwanted thoughts, and these very it's almost like Wolf is a little bit alive, a little bit dead, like Martha and Marsha, those characters, and
Mm.
Wolf is a little bit here, not here, in dream, in reality, sober, straight, and we, we're kind of moving. I mean, sober or drunk, like
Right.
yeah. So it kind of this kind of this kind of like jumping from different sort of places, which I think is how is how I remember being when I was 19, 20. It's kind of how, you're trying to struggle with your identity. Am I black? Am I white? Am I, a tomboy, or am I, where am I? I was never a girly girl wearing pink. I never really, and also a lot of young poets and writers that I hang out with now. But now I'm kind of an auntie, or the older one. But the 19, 20-year-olds that I hang out with now, they've got so many questions about identity, and it's so amazing to hear how they speak and their experiences in the 21st century, and comparing that to how it was back in the 80s and 90s. So it's a salute to their struggle, and a salute to the language and the world they're navigating, that I'm, really want to support and help and be there, for. So yeah, so Wolf had to be just Wolf. Yeah. But it
Yeah.
is a very difficult thing to write an entire novel with no pronouns whatsoever. Talk about make it difficult for yourself, girl. Yeah.
I mean, it really struck me because, again, like, death is on our minds. Binary, you know, gender, social justice, everything that was, brought up in that book was like, oh my God, it's like, this is what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, somebody lovely said it, that Wolf is like a modern day, William Blake, or that, which I think is very flattering, or like a modern day Virginia Woolf's Orlando.
Mm.
So in Orlando, you have this kind of playing with the gender, and so I kind of quite like that. But it was just how I know it sounds pretentious, but it was just how it wanted to be written, and so I just had to stick to my guns with that. It would have been easier to just write Wolf as a she, and just make her a little crazy curly thing based on you know someone not too far from here. But yeah, I want. It was just how it wanted to be, and what I wanted to say with that character. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense to me as a non-binary priestess. Traditionally, trans folks and non-binary folks are seen as the mitigators between the worlds in cross-cultural contexts. So, like, the fact that like Wolf would not be written any other way, like, that makes so much sense to me. Like, because that's traditionally what our role has been, when we weren't marginalized and when we were respected for the gifts that we bring, is because, like you were saying, in the dream state, like, that is a portal place that you are accessing, this downloaded knowledge that you received, and then have to translate that and bring it into the real world. It's a very like shamanic practice of like, you're going into the underworld
Yes.
in the dreams, and you're pulling out this like wisdom, and then you're synthesizing it for all of us, and then you're disseminating this. And so,
And giving
like,
it to us.
yeah, and the fact that you're giving it to us through this character that is genderless, I think, is really important, because it speaks to, the fact that you have gone into the underworld and you have retrieved that knowledge, and the fact that it wouldn't synthesize any other way and it wouldn't parse properly. Like, like, that to me speaks volumes of the value of this book.
Oh my God, that is the nicest thing anyone's ever said. Thank you so
Mm.
much. Oh my God.
Are
Yeah,
you
that
ready to become a cult hero? I mean,
Thank
are you
you so
prepared?
much. Oh my God, that's so nice. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna drink and hide my face. Oh,
Mm. It's so true.
thank you. I feel really understood.
Can I gush for a minute? So I want to say, Salena, so I didn't know anything about your book until, my moon goddess is like, hey, let's check this out, and so I listened to your Audible walking on the beach. And so I've got it all in my head, your voice and the way I don't know what, clearly you're a wonderful speaker. So you're in my, in my thoughts in my head. And that's how I first absorbed Wolf and the whole story. And Wolf is so accessible. And so thank you. And Mrs. Death as well, and in all your characters. So came through me that way, in the freedom of, walking the beach. And then when I read the book, it just went to this other level. I can't really explain it. I just want you to know that, so that your words have a lot of power, audible and then read. So I feel like it through all my senses I've absorbed, and it's just yeah, it changed me. It's in me. So thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm in pieces. You're going to wreck me. Stop it. Thank you. Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you.
It's so true. You've been on a lot of hikes with us already. So, you know, when you're ready to go on tour, absolutely reach out. We'll take you to see the whales, and hopefully,
I'd
I can't
love
promise.
that.
But it's so
I would love that.
strange. Like, I think when I was communicating with you, I was at the beach with my friend Shayna, who's here, and we actually saw whales that day, for the first time since I've lived in Southern California. So I felt like it all came together, you know, like
Yeah, I love this connection of we've been. I really love your letters, by the way. They're beautiful, Moon.
same.
But I really love our letters are all look like how much we love the moon and whales. And like, because I'm really obsessed with whales at the moment. I'm writing something, but I can't tell you anymore. But yeah, so that yeah, whales, I love them. And you were like, we've just been to see some whales. It's like such a strange coincidence. But I can't wait to travel. I can't wait to come to America and come and read. And I haven't been to America for ages, but I used to come and do gigs in New York at CBGBs and come to San Francisco and LA and have fun and have a really crazy time. Yeah, so I look forward to some of that. Definitely, definitely.
Absolutely.
Would you come if I came and did a reading in a
Of
bookshop?
course. I'm gonna ask,
Yeah.
you know, I want to ask the people here in Laguna Beach to host you. My father
Okay.
told me yesterday, you better invite her to your local bookstore. So, like,
Can we
yeah,
go for margaritas afterwards?
of course.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's
Good.
right by the sea. So it's,
Oh,
you know,
perfect.
it's
That sounds amazing. I can't wait to travel and tour again. It's like I've never been home for so long. But I mean, it's the same for everyone. But yeah, it's so strange. My suitcase is just like, yeah, it's very strange. Yeah.
ours are too. Did
Mm.
anybody else, I don't want to abduct you all day, although I kind of do because you're here. But you know, we have limited time with you. So if anybody else had any questions or comments, do it now. Um,
I just want to say that I listened to it, which it's kind of my go-to place to get books in me now. I listen to books when I'm weaving coffins. I make willow coffins, so I listen to them in my workshop, and listening to this book was like, I think you said it, Susan, it was like a spell. It was like I kind of spent 3 days, or however long it took to listen to the book, like weaving a coffin, like in this kind of mesmerized spell of the words and the story, but also like your voice was incredible. But like listening to Lisa saying that, having read it after listening to it, sort of another level. I haven't read it yet, so I'm just super excited actually to actually get a copy and read it and see where else it takes me. So yay, something to look forward to. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. What an amazing image that is in my head of you listening to me saying all those things and weaving coffins. Oh, that's just incredible. Oh wow, thank you for that. I'm going to think about that for a while. That's
Yay.
amazing.
I'm a Kaz groupie. You know, your work is amazing. Just watching you weave is like coffins. I don't know. It's just spellbinding. So that combination of listening to the book and you working, that's
Yeah,
making me
although
very
to be honest,
happy.
it's like, where do I go now though? After listening to that, I'm like, nothing quite hits the mark. So I'll just have to listen to it again, I think.
It's true. You're tough competition.
I wasn't walking the California beaches or weaving coffins, but you were accompanying me on my wilderness walks in the Canadian North. So you're all over the place, which is fantastic. But yeah,
Wow. Are you in Canada right
I
now?
am, yes. And you'd
Hello,
be very
Canada.
welcome to come to Canada. so is
Where?
that. Yeah, we're the two
Ah,
regions. Yeah.
so you're in Canada. Where is everyone from? Let me find out actually. Where are you from, Kaz?
I live in the Midlands, just south of Coventry.
Okay, good to
Yeah,
know. Good to
yeah.
know. And where are you? Everyone tell me where you're all from so I can put you on my map
I'm
of
in
places.
Vancouver, BC, Canada.
Okay.
I'm in Walla Walla, Washington. Washington's
Washington. Wow.
I'm in Pasadena, California, north of Laguna Niguel.
Amazing. Amazing. That's so exciting. Hello, world. That's so exciting. Oh, it's so good to meet you all.
It's lovely to meet you. Lovely to hear you read.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's such a gift. Thank you so much for your time and your attention with us today.
Yeah.
Really grateful.
Thank you. It's just been so amazing to meet you all. I'm so excited. How are we doing for time? Shall I read one more little bit or?
Please.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah?
going anywhere.
Okay, let's have a little look.
And it's sunny in London today,
It's
right?
really sunny. The sky
Hilarious.
is blue. The sky is, yeah, it's crazy. We've had nothing but rain for the whole of May. So it's been really grey, really dark. So, but everything just feels like it's lifting.
It's as blue as Desmond's shirt from the picture you sent me. So
Yeah, it is.
like
It
that
is.
radiant blue. And funny enough, we were going to have our little garden, hangout in my mind. We're going to do this in the garden. It's going to be like, you're here for a party. And then we woke up and it's like, I messaged Salena, have you heard of June gloom? Because this is like a mist over, our house. So we reversed it.
Yeah, you've got English weather right now. You've got an old pea super.
Exactly. That's a much better way of putting it.
Yeah. Why don't we do something from near the end? Or hang on, let me have a look.
I love the hitchhiker too. I mean, that's a
yes.
That's a fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, so much of this book was coincidences and things that were just keeping me on the path to keep working on it. When I showed up in Ireland to stay in the tower for the year, for a month, God no, a year, just a month, for a month. I went to the little local library, and that's where, and on the front page of the local newspaper, this girl, Inga Maria Hauser, it was the 30-year anniversary of her body being found in the forest just just not too far from the tower. So it was like the 30-year anniversary. So she had to go in the book like straight away, Yeah, so they still haven't found what happened. They still don't know the truth of where she disappeared. But I think I'll read. Oh, I kind of want to leave us on an up.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, while you're looking for your place, I'll just say that your book has inspired me I teach a couple of courses on death at my university, and your book has inspired me to think about maybe creating a death literature course.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
That would be really fun. That would be really fun.
I'm going to end up only teaching death classes. It's just they've taken over. Yeah.
I love that so much.
I'll keep you posted though.
Yeah. What books are you thinking of when you say that?
Well, yours. That's as far as I've gotten. So your book, sparked the idea, right? But yeah, I mean, I think there's lots that you could use in something like that.
Yeah. I can't decide. I'm sorry. Oh, let's do something. Let's do a little bit of heroes. Okay. So if you can imagine hearing David Bowie now, dun, 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 dun. You could be heroes. Your heroes are here. Your heroes are all already here, darling. I see your heroes. I follow them. I watch them. They keep going and never stop. Your heroes are never giving up on their dreams. I see heroes at the food bank. Your heroes at homeless shelters. They take food to people sleeping in doorways. Your heroes are itinerant and broke, with no funding or arts grants. Your heroes are in Calais and Dunkirk. They wait by the shores of the Mediterranean seas and volunteer to help the capsized boats and refugees. Your heroes are on the borders. Your heroes are down in Soho, donating and distributing food and blankets. Your heroes are working overtime in the crumbling NHS A&E departments. Your heroes are your doctors and nurses, your teachers and volunteers, people taking phone calls at the Samaritans and talking people down from the edge. It is your job, your only job, to seek out and support and nurture heroes. This is all your responsibility. We can all do our part in the chain to help others, to help others, to help the others who help the others, who inspire and help the others. Find the others. You are losing your libraries, museums, galleries, independent bookshops, pubs, and music venues. So the beautiful spaces where thinkers and writers and artists could meet and share work and gather and blossom and dream are being erased. The survival of the hero is up to you all now. It is important, now more than ever, to fight for all of this, to fight for your rights, for your freedoms, for your art, poetry, and music, because you all need to be heroes, to step up, to speak up, to support each other. We stare deeply now into the charcoals of winter and watch the last flames lick the chimney. The fires leave the sky and dance into the everything. All the warmth and all the joy is boiled in a soup of memory. We stir the good stuff up from the bottom of the pot and hold the ladle up. Drink, we say. Look at all the good chunks of goodness. Take in your share of good times, good music, good books, good food, good laughter, good people. Be grateful for the good stuff. Life and death, we say drink. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Beautiful.
So amazing.
Cheers. I'm drinking pink gin.
Love
So
it.
beautiful.
That's a wonderful, wonderful passage. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I remember reading that passage particularly and really loving it. So just hearing you read it again, what a treat. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
And I think hearing it from you, it just adds such a deep layer. So thank you for this gift today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you. I'm having such a nice time.
I know. I don't want you to go. But it's not the last time we'll
No,
see.
not at all. Not at all. Yeah, we can meet up another time. Let me know when the
Absolutely.
next queer death session is.
It's tomorrow.
Is it? What
Yeah.
time?
Well, normally we have QDS at 4 p.m. our time. I'm not sure why we decided on that time originally, but we just stuck with it last Sunday of the month. Part of it is to keep our East Coast friends with us, but then we lose our international folks. But actually tomorrow we're talking about psychopomps, and Kat is going to join us because they are a psychopomp, and brought that into the conversation months ago. But you know, in the future, you know, we would enjoy talking with you again, because this is
Lovely.
a spiral of a conversation. Like, you know, like we're just Right, Des? Every time we start a conversation, it just ends up like, oh, now we want to know about that. What is, what is that? That's how we met Susan, and and so on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
almost my
you.
birthday. I know yours is not too far, right? In June.
Yeah, mine's in June as well. Yeah.
So it feels
Yeah.
like birthday.
Birthday, midsummer's my favorite time of year. It really is. I love June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What day is your birthday?
I'm the 25th of June.
Okay. Wow, you
Yeah.
really are summer. Right on there.
Yeah. When's
Yeah.
yours? Is yours next week?
It's Monday. It's a
Oh.
national holiday here, so everyone's forced to celebrate it. But you all can too, because you have your holiday too, right?
Yeah, we've got a bank holiday weekend. Yeah.
And you too, Susan, do you have that too?
Last weekend. Ours was last week.
Oh, well, you
Yeah.
should take off on Monday
You
anyway.
think so?
Yeah, just tell him Moon said.
Okay. Drink
Yeah,
champagne all day?
exactly.
Okay,
Why
I can
not?
do that.
Oh, I love everyone here so much. So how do you say goodbye?
I don't know. I don't know how to say goodbye to you, but it's just been really lovely to speak to you, and thank you so much for all your support and all your lovely posts and making friends. This is really amazing. Just by meeting you, I'm so excited that I just really liked your posts on Instagram, and then we just started really liking each other's posts all the time, and then I'm here talking to you.
I
So
know.
beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. I know I feel the same way. It's like pen pal-ish,
Yeah,
but your
it
friends get to
really
be a part of it too, which is really cool. And your dog, if you've got one, and your
is.
spouse, and the neighborhood, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's been
Yeah,
magical. So,
yeah.
you'll be getting more dolphin videos from me and whatever I
That's
see that
good.
makes me think of you, because that's just who I am. I'm like, oh, this Mariah Carey dolphin video I'm gonna send to her because it made me happy.
Oh, that was so good. I was having such a grumpy morning. That was really good. Yeah,
Oh,
it cheered me up. Mariah
I
Carey Dolphin.
know. So easy. I'll
Yeah,
send it to everyone just so you
I'm
all know
easily
it.
pleased.
Because we're all like Mariah Carey dolphin.
Hmm.
Final words.
I'll be thinking about Mrs. Death this afternoon because the next errand is we're off to the farm down the road to pick up eggs. So
Oh,
it'll be on my mind.
Amazing.
good. That's good.
Des
Okay.
is gonna share a poem with us from Lucille Clifton, which I love. If you're all cool with that, we'll go out on a poem together about boats.
That's beautiful.
And then we can drift into, the space. Desmond is an amazing poet, by the way. They're not reading their poetry today, but just want to put that out there. They're one of the best.
So we'll just close our eyes and we'll take 3 audible breaths together. May the tide that is entering even now, the lip of our understanding, carry you out beyond the face of fear. May you kiss the wind, then turn from it, certain that it will love your back. May you sail through water, water waving forever. And may you, in your innocence, sail through this to that. Lucille Clifton, blessing the boats. Thank you for being here with us, Salena. It's been a pleasure to just hear you speak and talk about your process and the work. And I'm excited to read it whenever it arrives. It's been a week now, so I'm waiting for it.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much. That was a beautiful poem, by the way. I really loved that. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Really beautiful.
Can you repeat the name of the writer, please?
Lucille Clifton.
Thank you.
Who lived for a time in Baltimore, like us.
Oh,
Well, I hope you have a lovely evening in England and Canada.
Let's say a group goodbye, and then we could all hear each other's voices and then drift off.
Headphones
Because it's hard to
And unplug.
and unplug.
hey,
Now I'm
Lisa,
all bonded to you.
Uh-huh.
can we say see you later instead?
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
as good at goodbyes.
Okay.
See
Love
you
it.
soon.
See you
We do it
later.
after
See you later.
See you later.
See you later.
I'm going to say it in my British accent. See you later.
See you later. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Awesome. Sending love.
Oh, so good. That was super.
Oh my God, I'm so. Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited.